Side missions have historically been something of a mixed bag. Usually found amongst RPGs and open-world adventures, they're a good way of expanding a game's lifespan, exploring the wider world that may seem out of place within your main quest. When done well then, developers can shine a new light upon their in-game universe, but if they're executed poorly, they become quite tedious and act as little more than filler content, much to the bane of completionists. Sometimes, however, these missions aren't off to the side at all and actually hugely impact the main story. From better character development to radically different endings, sometimes it's worth taking your time and completing this so-called side content before rushing to the end. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game side missions that massively changed the main story. Number 8. Horizon Zero Dawn – Newfound Allies. Set within a particularly lovely open world, you played as Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, a Nora tribe outcast that begins investigating her mysterious past. This is a game that has a world filled with side missions, introducing you to the many interesting characters that you'll befriend on your journey. However, upon reaching the final mission, the Looming Shadow, your work on these side missions determines how the climactic battle unfolds. Aloy will always be accompanied by some friends during this mission, but depending on which side missions you complete beforehand, if not all of them, you'll find up to 8 additional allies joining your side, returning a favour in this crucial moment. There aren't any alternate endings obtained for completing them all, but rather it simply builds upon this final mission and goes beyond the usual bonuses. In a way then, you could say the real Horizon Zero Dawn was the friends you made along the way. Number 7. Yakuza 3 Hometown Girl and Dotting the I. Sega's beat-em-up Yakuza franchise quickly became a fan favourite, following the Dragon of Dojima, Kazuma Kiryu retiring from Yakuza life to run the Okinawan orphanage. Kiryu finds himself drawn back into Japan's underworld. Becoming close to the Okinawa Ryudo family and its captain, Rikiya Shimabukuro, a dispute brings them back to Tokyo's red light district, Kamurocho. Filled with over 100 side missions, its most crucial one occurs within Chapter 6, taking Rikiya to Kiryu's former tattoo artist, Master Utebori. Much like the 4th chairman, Rikiev sports a large back tattoo, this one depicting a viper. Intended to symbolize the Okinawa spirit, his tattoo artist passed away before completion. Determined to have it finished, they approach Utebori, but he initially refuses. Upon leaving, they run into some thugs, and witnessing Rikie's good nature, Utebori finally agrees. It's a bonding moment for the duo, but it doesn't end there, as a further Chapter 6 mission reunites Rikiya with his childhood friend Natsumi, who's working at a bikini bar. Taking advantage of his good nature, she gets him involved with loan sharks before Kiryu intervenes, showing her the consequences and coming to his defense. Filled with guilt, Natsumi tearfully apologizes, but rather than react angrily, Rikiya shows compassion. These don't change the outcome of the main story, but several chapters later, Rikiya's life is brought to an untimely end, fatally wounded by crime boss Tetsuo Tamashiro. By undertaking these missions, it brings this character arc to completion and makes for a far more impactful goodbye. Number 6. S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl, the DECODER mission. S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl left quite a mark back in 2007. Set within an alternate timeline where a second nuclear disaster occurred in Chernobyl, you played as an amnesiac man known as the Marked One, trying to kill the mysterious S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Discovering that you're actually S.T.A.L.K.E.R later on, it becomes clear there's a wider conspiracy as you become aware of an artifact within the zone called the Wish Granter. Shadow of Chernobyl featured 2 true endings, but in order to obtain either of these, you must have followed a quest to disable the psi emitter within Lab X16. Then providing coordinates to a stash within Pripyat. This stash contains a decoder which can access a particular sarcophagus door, and upon entry takes you to the Monolith Control Center. From there you'll get 2 choices: join with the Sea Consciousness or refuse, and sequel entry Call of Pripyat confirms refusal as the canonical ending. It's easy to miss in the larger plot, but doing this mission changes the entire ending. Failing to obtain the decoder instead leads to a variety of false endings depending on how you played. It's a classic monkey's paw, however, as the Wish Granter corrupts any wish S.T.A.L.K.E.R makes, leaving him to his own fate. Number 5. Ys 8 LACRIMOSA of Dana, Reputation Points. Ys might be one of Japan's oldest RPG franchises, but even now it's still going strong. First arriving back in 1987 as Ys 1, Ancient Ys Vanished, Japan recently saw its 9th main entry come out last September, but in the West, fans were last treated to Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana in 2017. Featuring veteran protagonist Adol Kristen, we found our red-headed adventurer shipwrecked on the Isle of Siren, after a giant monster brings down a passenger ship, the Lombardia. Finding fellow survivors, they establish a temporary home home called Castaway Village and begin searching for a way off the island. It features a reputation system, and this will actually determine how the story ends. Filled with side missions, raid battles to defend Castaway Village, and gift giving to other fellow survivors, just how far you go with these activities determines how many points you obtain. So if you did the bare minimum and only focused on the main story, there's a good chance you'll earn less than 74 reputation points, triggering the bad ending. If you put in a middling effort, you'll achieve the good ending, but to obtain the true ending, you need to go full completionist and earn over 200 points. Side missions also have a time limit though, so you can't just leave them all once they emerge. Like many games here, it doesn't come down to a specific mission you have to do, but how many you've undertaken. Number 4, Mass Effect 2, the Loyalty Missions. Mass Effect broke new ground for BioWare back in 2007. Focusing on Commander Shepard, we found the Milky Way under threat by the Reapers, with Shepard and his team being the only ones capable enough to stop this invasion. And as the player, your decisions were crucial in determining how this story unfolded. Mass Effect 2 released 3 years later and implemented a series of loyalty missions amongst your crew. Far from being just filler, it brought in a lot of character development to your extensive team, which meant your squad mates were more than just another face. As you'd expect from the name, completing these missions ensured that a specific squad member would be loyal to Commander Shepard, but this also directly tied into the final suicide mission the entire game built towards. Doing each loyalty mission wouldn't guarantee that all of the respective characters would avoid a death, as you'd still need to make the correct choices in said final mission, but it did give them a fighting chance and did secure the lives of some. Skip them though, and the suicide mission would more than live up to its name. Number 3, The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Allies of BRUMA. Oblivion was a defining RPG for many players. Set within the Cyrodiil province, it takes place 6 years after the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, seeing you attempt to thwart the Mythic Dawn, a fanatical cult attempting to open a series of portal gates that lead to a demonic realm called Oblivion. Bethesda's games pride themselves on letting you do whatever the hell you want, and you could ignore the main quest and explore Cyrodiil's open world at your leisure in Oblivion, but towards the end of the main quest you will find yourself against a giant gate appearing at BRUMA. Tasked with the city's defense, you then have 2 options. Either you can dive straight into this mission or take on a new side mission called Allies for BRUMA, and that requires visiting each major city. You must convince each count to lend troops for support, and that involves closing their own Oblivion gates. It is an arduous task, and it's one that you can only partially complete and still get some rewards for, but defending BRUMA is no easy fight, so you'll want all the support you can get. By completing this, it sets the scene for this battle, seeing the major cities come together in BRUMA's hour of need. Number 2, Bloodborne, 1/3 of Umbilical Cord. Bloodborne released in 2015, casting players as a monster hunter within the city of Yharnam. Finding its population afflicted by a plague, you enter a realm called the Hunter's Dream. Within the dream lies a doll, who is a living life-sized doll, and Gehrman, the first hunter. Giving advice to other hunters, Gehrman informs players that in order to escape, you must halt this plague and stop the monsters attacking the city. After defeating many great beasts, you'll eventually return to the Hunter's Dream, and Gehrman offers to send you back. Accept this and you'll return to the real Yharnam post-plague, but if you refuse, Gehrman becomes hostile. Initiating a boss fight, you'll unwittingly take over his role upon defeating him. It's a binary choice, but Bloodborne offers a secret third ending, unlocked by collecting 3 parts of Umbilical Cord beforehand. Covered with creepy eyes, you'll need to consume these disgusting items before fighting this final boss. You'll still need to refuse him as well, but upon winning, this time it initiates a secret boss fight with the Moon Presence. Once you're victorious, you'll end up transforming into an infant Great One, the ancient beings once worshipped in the city. Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Downs Family. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been an undeniable success since it first launched, reaching 29 million copies sold, and it has received extensive critical acclaim. Playing as Arthur Morgan, a member of the Vanderlyn gang, it showed the gang in its final years amidst the declining Wild West. Set within an open world, the main quest sees you confronting Thomas Downs, a farmer in debt to Leopold Strauss, and Arthur's out to collect. No matter your approach, this visibly ill farmer doesn't have the money, and Arthur leaves upon intervention by his wife Edith and son Archie, but not after being spat on by the dying man. Not long after, Thomas passes away and Arthur is now sent to collect from Edith. Later discovering they've become financially unstable, it forces Edith to resort to sex work, moving to Annesburg. As Arthur becomes progressively more ill thanks to the disease he contracted from the beating, he feels remorse for his actions and sets out to make amends. Initially asking to be left alone, Mrs. Downs informs Arthur that her son Archie is working within the mines, but the foreman is bullying him. Saving Archie from this, Arthur offers his money, but Edith refuses. But later on, Archie asks him to find his missing mother. Upon returning home with her, he then tries again, saying he's not looking for forgiveness and to not let pride kill this family. Edith finally accepts the money, moving away from this town. It's a key part of Arthur's character development, highlighting the consequences of his actions and shows a man looking to make peace before his inevitable demise. In a way, you really can't have the redemption in the title without these side missions. So that's our list. Want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are there any games I've missed off here that have side missions that hugely impact the main story? And did you do all of these? Either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't, though, I've been Josh. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.